everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Good evening, gentlemen.
What's going on?
I survived Old
Good
Park.
evening.
I know you did. I saw that.
Yeah,
By the skin
you
of your
did.
teeth.
If you want to see all the updates, go to the Everything Vaguely Paranormal page or the the Haunted Old Park Hotel page to see what happened this weekend. But guys, tonight, I am so excited. I love this man. This is probably one of my favorite people in the entire world because he's so much fun. And we met him way back when at a Paracon, and it was the Missouri. It was the Missouri Paracon. 2 years ago now.
No, we met him before Missouri, didn't we?
Did we?
I
The
think.
one prior, not the last one. The one prior to that, Metacon.
Metacon.
I was gonna say
Sorry,
Metacon.
Metacon.
Was,
Yeah.
In Missouri.
Metacon,
Yeah.
yes.
In Missouri. And
Okay.
so I just love this guy. He is so much fun. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him because you guys are definitely going to want to listen to all this. He's fascinating. He has a lot of hot takes on Bigfoot and aliens. And you've heard him on Coast to Coast AM. He has a book called Baptized by Abduction, which recounts his alien abduction story. He's been researching Sasquatch for over 15 years, and he's written 4 books with evidence of an enigma, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he's about to release his next book. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that. He has over 100 published reports in the Bigfoot Field Research Organization database, which is the BFRO, and he's a contributing writer to Strange Knox magazine, and it comes out quarterly, Strange Knox Quarterly magazine. And so I am ready to talk to him. We were getting a little bit of backstage before the show started. Can we please welcome our buddy and good friend, Carter Buschardt? Carter, you sexy thing, where are you? Oh my God, shut up and wait.
Snoring at the intro. Love it.
Well, I'm old, so I had to take a nap there, So.
Hey, I got it right this time. BFRO, Bigfoot Field Research Organization. Last time we were on, you gave me trouble for thinking it was Bigfoot Research Organization. I got it right this time.
It's Bigfoot Field.
Field. I got it right this time. Are you proud of me?
Well, I got it wrong a lot of times. I said, well, that doesn't make sense. You should have 2 F's in there. What the heck?
I don't know. Is Bigfoot one word or 2? You tell me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we are excited you're here.
I'm glad too. I'm not wearing any pants.
I love that. You sexy thing. You always come on and tease me.
Stand up or it didn't happen.
It's a sit down on the show, so
That's why we like to make them guess as well. Every week we're like,
I'm just kidding.
Or are we not?
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
okay.
ask me to get up and adjust the light. You can see for yourself. Yeah.
Don't you tempt me, Carter. So, Carter, you have got, first of all, let's hit this right off the bat. You have got a brand new book that's coming out. I want you to tell us about this because is this kind of your culmination of books 1 through 4?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not my greatest hits. It's the events that mean the most to me and say what we are all experiencing. Many of us are. Some will turn their backs on what they're seeing because they don't believe it. But it's the new book. You have the cover.
Blake does have the cover there.
Yeah, this is the new book. I want to tell you something. Ravenhawk did my artwork, and the Sasquatch has my eyes. Because eyes, she kept wanting me to give her some faces. Just send me some smirks and some just smart ass little faces. So I sent her a bunch of different looks. Well, she took my eyeballs out and put them in the Sasquatch. Well, those are my eyes in the Sasquatch on the cover.
I love that. And I'm sure you had plenty of smart ass looks to send her.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have to think too hard on that one. So.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of quite a few of those, so I know exactly.
Give me smirks and give me some like. Because that's what she was trying to get a smirk. That's my general look. I gave her for the Sasquatch look.
So your book says we're not just dumb apes.
We are not dumb apes.
Yeah.
It's
So
just exactly, and if you're familiar with the saying here, I think, therefore I am, by Descartes.
Mhm.
He was a mathematician, I think, from the 1600s, but very philosophical. But I think, therefore I am. So that what it means is there cannot be a thought unless you exist. You cannot exist and not have a thought. So by saying that, I'm saying these beings, and they are beings, they are people, they're not apes. They are a thinking, feeling machine, sentient and sapient, which means the ability to create thought, embrace emotion, show emotion, decipher emotion, and think and say things. And so that's why I'm trying to get it through to the dumb ape crowd that some of these things that are in the book, and these are all experienced by 80% of these people are my habituation families. In other words, they live with these Sasquatch. Some of the families up to 27 years, they've had them on their property and they are interacting with them daily, weekly, monthly, however often each party chooses to interact with each other. Some of my witnesses don't even think about telling me because they forget there's so much stuff. Yeah, I got a picture today from somebody. I get something every week because these people are living with them on their property, multi-acre properties, anywhere from 5 to 200 acres.
Mhm.
And they see them, they interact, they show them their children, they gift back and forth. I've had my name called out in my voice by a Sasquatch right across the street from us, sitting on the front porch like they do on Saturday night at this one family. They sit, get a 6-pack of beer or two, get some munchies, and they go sit on the front porch, which I did with them. And we throw rocks and twigs back and forth across the road to each other. Sasquatch, human Sasquatch. And he said, well, try this. So he said, give him your best howl and introduce yourself. So I did my best Ohio moan howl, which I'm not going to bore you with.
Oh
And
no,
I
I need to hear that.
Well, you've heard it before, baby.
I know I have. I just want everyone to experience it.
Not you.
Not yet, you haven't.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm saving up for that $20 you were going to charge me.
That's right. It's really
But
cheap.
anyway,
That's a good
so they
price.
say do a howl and introduce yourself. So I did a howl. I said, my name is Carter. And they said back to me, my name is Carter, in my exact voice.
Huh.
So they
No
have the
exaggeration.
ability
It
to
was
mimic.
Exactly. They mimic.
Okay.
It was my exact voice. And no, they didn't hire some goober friend of theirs to go sit out in the woods and wait for this moment. You know what I mean? It was like
Right.
a spontaneous thing. And this is something they do once or twice a month. They just go on the front porch and sit and they'll throw sticks and hear howls and knocks and rock clacking and gibberish and chatter. And that's just what they do for Saturday night.
So, I mean,
It's and they think nothing of it. Then we go in and watch TV. It's like you do this, then we're going to go in and do this and have some snacks, and we're going to go to bed.
right.
I mean, it's that much of a routine. And some of these families, this family especially, they have so much activity, they don't even bother to tell me half of it because they forget. If they don't catch it on video, but they just see it, they just forget about it. And I could be talking to them, and I call them up every quarter and say, hey, what's been going on? Bob and Carol. And, they tell me, well, we went to Walmart. I had to put a new motor in the tractor. Sydney got a new haircut. It looks kind of cute on her. And to tell you, Shiny saw a Sasquatch last week. No, you didn't tell me. They just forget. It's such a routine. Like, do you remember what you did 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday at 3:00? No. Well, they don't even, they may have seen a Sasquatch Tuesday at 3:00, but they don't. It's such a routine. Can you even grasp that that's just like a routine? Like, if you guys go somewhere and you see a ghost or you see the lights flicker, do you tell everybody every time something happens? Are you
No, not
so
every
wrapped
time.
up in your work and it's such a routine, it happens so often that you just go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Did we tell them about that?
Yeah.
This happens with a lot of my families, 2 or 3 of them especially. It's hard for people to grasp that you see them daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, at your wish, they have anyway. That's just part of the habituation thing. And some of the photos that we're going to see and look at or discuss, I'll discuss some of my events. It's like, oh my God, this happened. How do you, I have 2 unbelievable examples of how they communicated to me. And, every time I tell this one story, did I tell you the story about the logs when I was leading that expedition in Illinois?
Well, before you do, where is this level of activity at your habituation places? Where is that taking place in the U.S.? Like, is it what state?
Missouri.
Missouri. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have one question as well. I was
Yeah.
not aware of the ability to mimic. I was not aware of the mimicry factor. But if
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
thinking about it, we've heard people tell stories about, oh, I got lost out in the woods and I couldn't find my way out, and I heard someone call my name, or I heard someone say my name, and
Yeah.
I followed it.
Yeah.
And some people go, oh, that's fae, that's fairies. Oh, it was just people who were looking for you. You heard it. But in that moment that, some people we've talked to have said there was no one there. So who called my name?
Exactly.
Do you think that could be something of perhaps a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, leading them maybe out of their territory, out of their home area? If not necessarily to save them, but maybe just to get them away from where they live?
Yeah. No, it could be very much that. And if you go to certain areas like Land Between the Lakes and some other areas, really, really bad hotspots, it could be that it's a pale white, or it's another shapeshifter calling a name to lure you to your demise. So you have to be careful of following voices in the woods, because you might say, oh, that's got to be sounds like my mother calling my name. I better follow that. And you do, and you're following something that doesn't have your best interest at heart.
That's like in the Appalachian Mountains. They say you hear your name. No, you didn't. You keep on.
Yeah, keep moving.
Thing.
Yeah. You didn't hear that. You're deep.
See,
You're deep
now I'm all worried because I just recently moved to Missouri, and now I'm like sitting here shaking in my boots, like, do I need? As long they're not around Kansas City, are they?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, they're in Kansas City. They're all over. One of my stories in the book was a woman watched one in a 3-story brand new apartment building that is really close to my house. I'm smack dab in the middle of Liberty, Missouri.
Okay.
And it is a bustling city. It's not very big. It's listed like 30,000, but it's got houses and cars, and it's packed. And on a 3rd-story apartment building, she sees a Sasquatch floating from one side, going across the trees in the back, and it disappears into a orb shape, portal shape, whatever you want to call it, oval shape, and vanishes. And the story is called Chewbacca, because she said it looked just like Chewbacca. It looked like a 9-foot-tall Chewbacca from Star Wars, and it was floating. and I saw the hole it came from. Sometimes you'll see deer make big holes in brush to get from one area to another. Well, this Sasquatch came from ground level, went up, and it was up about 70 or 80 feet, and it got into this other portal that opened up in this trees and disappeared. Whole thing took 10 seconds. She watched the whole thing. And they've been believers. Actually, her and her partner have had me over to have a book party where people are interested in the book, not real sure about it. So they'll have, 8 or 9 people come over and have a little dinner party, and we ask questions. They ask questions about the books, and they buy the books. We talk about them, and blah, 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 blah. So they're believers, and and she's in the professional world. So the last thing she ever expected to see was a Sasquatch floating. But, I believe her. I've known her for 10 years. I've known this person. She's a professional. She's a corporate woman. She wears the outfit, the 3-piece outfit. She's like super straight-laced corporate looking thing. And the last person you'd think would be telling the Sasquatch story would be her. But there it was. So, and it's mind blowing. So, but this stuff is happening. I get calls, I get stuff all the time. But I have a great story that again involved my wife getting confirmation of what I was going through 350 miles away in Illinois. If you want to hear that story.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now, if I start bawling,
Okay.
Ignore it.
I'll
I get really emotional when I
make
tell
fun
this
of you.
story.
Right.
It was,
Okay.
the last time I cried was when you told me no. So I won't say who I was talking to. But anyway,
Brian is such a tease.
Ryan is a tease. Yeah.
I don't kiss and
here's
tell.
the reason. I was leading an expedition for BFRO in 2019. It was COVID, 2019. COVID had just hit. And there was like 25 or 30 people signed up for this expedition in Murfreesboro, Illinois. Well, the guy that was running it, people were canceling because nothing was open and they didn't want to be out during COVID. So they had like 4 or 5 people left. And so he said, I'm not doing this because I'm not going to take up time away from my family to go lead an expedition for 4 people. That's just ridiculous. So he said, I'm not doing it. So Caroline with BFRO called me up and said, would you be interested? You're the closest guy. And there's 4 people that are adamant. They do not want their money back. They want to go on the expedition. They've been dying to do this. They want to go. Will you do it? I said, yeah, sure. I've got a friend in Murfreesboro that lives there, Harold. He's an old BFRO buddy, and he can help. So I thought, yeah, so do it. So I called the 4 people, and we went to the expedition in Murfreesboro. Harold was there, my partner. And so we went, where we camped was 12 miles away from where I had chosen to go on this expedition. I chose this area not knowing that it was haunted. It was cursed. It was the Trail of Tears.
Oh.
And this was where, now, this is what I do when I go scout for an expedition. I scout and I do a good job. I scout. I'm there for about 4 or 5 days ahead of time. I'm going and looking at locations and adding them or deleting them from the itinerary. And so I went into Murfreesboro. I went into the mom and pop restaurant at 5 o'clock in the morning where you had to get your breakfast, all the overall crowds in there. And I just go around. It's what I do for all my expeditions that I've led. I've looked for. And I just go in and say, hey, guys, I'm looking for a good place to do an expedition. I'm looking for Bigfoot. Anybody give me some pointers? So, of course, after the snickering dies down, yeah, you shitty slicker. I tell you, you're a dumbass. I tell you. But so they go, well, I'll tell you one place you don't want to go, and that's over by the water pumping plant. You do not want to go over there. It is cursed. It's haunted. Nobody in their right mind will go anywhere near there after dark. There's no man, woman, or child that will ever go there at night. I said, well, good, because that's where I'm going. That sounds like an awesome place to go. So that's where I did, but they didn't tell me why it was haunted and everything. So I went and looked at it and I checked it out. It looked all really wonderful, but I come to find out 94 Native Americans, the Death March, the Trail of Tears, when they went from the Carolinas out to California, going up to, I guess, New Mexico and Arizona, where they ended up settling up in there. But so 94 people froze to death on that very ravine that I had picked because it just looked really spooky. They froze to death. And the reason it was cursed was because a flood had come through there 10, 12, 15 years before I got there and cut a hole right through this ravine. And it washed all the graves of all these people that had been buried. The Native Americans had been buried there. They were buried with ceremony and respect, and they were buried in their finery, their clothing, their blankets.
Yeah.
And so when that washed through there, the redneck brethren, let's just call them that, the people that could have cared less about the Native Americans, the Indians. Just put that stuff back in there. Just bury the stuff, put it in the ground, just bury it, and just get it. We don't want to listen to this crap anymore. Just get it out of the way. We just bury it. And, it was not done with any ceremony, with any of the
Respect.
blankets and the finery and the respect and the pomp and circumstance that goes with burying your dead, the Native Americans. So they just threw it in there. So that place was haunted and cursed because of the indifference of the white man. The town of they just said, well, screw it, just bury that stuff, dig a hole, bury all that stuff, cover it up, and blah. That's it. So anyway, I picked that area for my expedition. We go out, we find lots of footprints in this area. Now, Harold could not go with us because he's had a couple of strokes, he's had cancer. So he stayed in his pickup truck in the parking lot. And we had the radio on so he could be with us, so to speak, radio contact. This was on Friday night. So I went there, and this is about a 25 or 30 foot high ravine. The sides are just it's really tall. And the Sasquatch, you could hear them. They were watching us. You could hear them watching us and following us, but they would not interact. They would throw a couple of twigs and some rocks, and you could hear them puffing and moving around and grunting, but they would not communicate or do anything, verbally. They would we could sense their presence, but they were doing nothing. And so, but we had a great time. The 4 people that were there were just beside themselves. They were so excited, And so that was Friday night, and we had casted a bunch of stuff, and I decided to leave everything there Friday because I wanted everything to cure, all the plaster cast to cure and everything. So we left it there overnight, and we got back Saturday morning. Now, Saturday morning, deer season had started. So there was a lot of hunting up in the trees, and the action was dead because of all the gunfire and the hunting. And so that drives the Sasquatch further into the woods. So we went out, we got our footprints, and we had some activity, but it was just kind of bland. But I told them, look, this is hunting season. We're only doing this 2 nights here. So you've had a ball the Friday night before. We found lots of structures at camp. It was really an awesome party for the 4 people. So we went back, and then the next morning, Sunday, we were leaving. We were going back. I was going back to Kansas City. So I said, well, before I leave, I'm going to leave a camera. Now, we had this log that we all sat at on each night. We just sat and took a break. It was about 100 yards, and it was far enough that I didn't scout the rest of the area, so I didn't want to go back there. And it was enough for the 4 expeditioners. So I left my camera by this log just in case. You know how it is in Sasquatch. If you put out a camera, you're probably not ever going to get a photo. But if you don't put out a camera, you're never going to get a photo
Right.
for sure. So
Right.
I left the camera. So I get up Sunday morning. I tell Harold goodbye, and say goodbye to everybody. And I'm headed back to Kansas City. I got to go back by the area we were, the expedition area, and get my. So I get back down there, and I'm walking down the ravine, and I'm looking up, and I see the guys up in the tree, the hunters. They're back there, Sunday morning with their rifles, and they're ready to go. So I'm just waving at them and going back there and get my camera. And when I get there, this is where I start getting all teary. I think I've seen you. I've shown you this book.
Yes.
Okay. You
On the log.
see.
Oh yeah.
You see what's on the left there?
Oh, all the rocks on the log.
Yeah.
How many?
5.
You see the rock
Yeah.
on the other end all by itself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 6. Guess how many people were in our party? 6.
I'm gonna go with 6.
Yeah.
Counting Harold, who was back at the truck. Right.
Yeah.
Four
He
of
was
them, you and
there.
Harold.
But not there. So I'm looking at this. I'm going, what the heck? There's nobody out. It's COVID. I mean, we left about 8:30, 9 o'clock Saturday night.
Right.
And there was COVID. Nobody was in the wood. The woods were dead. There was nobody out anywhere. Restaurants, you know how it was. Nobody could go anywhere
Right.
do anything.
Right.
It was just, bleh. So there's nobody there. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking and looking. I'm going, where'd this come from? There's nobody here. We were sitting here last night. Where'd this come from? I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. And, oh, this is where it gets bad. I'm looking and I go, oh my God, that's me. That pointed rock. That's me. I'm the leader of the expedition. Those 4 rocks behind it are the expeditioners. And the rock on the other end is Harold, who was there but not there. I'm freaking. I'm going, this can't be. Well, they're communicating. How'd this happen? So I called Harold up, and I'm telling him, he's going, oh my God, well, send me some pictures. I sent him some pictures, and he was like, oh my God. I'm going, oh my God. No kidding. They're communicating. They know we were there. They're qualifying our appearance there. They know it was us. So I'm going, oh my God. I'm freaking. I'm getting all the pictures I can. So I call my wife, and this is about 8:30 in the morning, Sunday morning. And I called her up. I said, you're never going to believe this. I told her the story. She goes, well, what time did this happen? I said, well, I don't know when they put the rocks there, but we were there till 8:30, and there was nobody out. So it had to happen about that time. Well, last night I was getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden a blue orb appears in the bedroom and flies around our bedroom 3 times. It does a couple of flips like it's showing off, flies into the bathroom and disappears at 8:30. They were telling me they knew who I was and where I lived.
Wow.
Whoa.
I can't believe I'm not bawling right now, because most of this is like I'm sort of getting misty, but I'm kind of getting over it. I'm getting able to tell the story without.
Right.
It just, my wife sees this blue orb. What she's going? How do they do? Paranormal. It's
Right.
mind speak. It's whatever it is. It's telepathy. Whatever. And they were showing me that they knew where I lived, and they were showing my wife that they knew what I was doing. And I guess I made the cool kids list or something. I don't know, but it was just that's serendipity. That's not a coincidence. That happened because they were making contact with me.
Right.
Since then, I've had many mental pictures, images put into my head at night, normally when I'm sleeping or when I'm about to go to bed. And I've been in communication with them since. And we've had a lot of weird stuff going on around the house. You know,
Right.
About 3 or 4 months after this happened, I'm sitting there watching TV with my wife. Something taps me on the head 3 times. Now, up until then, we hadn't had a lot of weird stuff. Our house is older, and we do have some paranormal things going on here, but they were not Sasquatch related up until this point.
Mhm.
And ever since then, they will come to me in my sleep because we don't sleep very well, so we meditate and listen to metaphysical tapes and music and spoken word to just relax and chill and get out to sleep. So they will come to me and they will be looking down at me. It's like I'm in a hole in the ground. I'm looking up and around this hole with grass around the edge, and these Sasquatch heads are kind of looking down at me like, hey. I'm going, hey, what's going on? What are you guys, where are you? This looks familiar. This looks like my research area here in Missouri. They've said a couple times, home. This is home. And I see the little Sasquatch juveniles playing, sticking sticks in the ground, digging for moles and grubs and chasing birds and chasing squirrels. And it's just like you and I sitting at home having a picnic. And they're sitting around with their family, like we would sit around with our family, except I'm watching it. So I'm shown a couple of these scenarios once or twice a year. It continues. It is just the weirdest thing, but it's a wonderful thing. And that orb they knew where I lived. That orb didn't find my house randomly. It's 325 miles from where I live.
Mhm.
Where this was.
Right. So do you start crying because you're so touched that they would
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
you to
It's an
communicate, or-
emotional thing. It's and I'm teary-eyed now, but I'm not bawling for why I don't know. But normally I just get choked up because it's such
Yeah.
a
Was that
cathartic
your first
moment.
communication with them? The blatant actual evidence that they wanted to communicate with you?
That was my first known communication. Now,
Got it.
my wife, when I took her to my research area in Ellington, Missouri, that's where I had, I was telling you earlier, I had one disappear on a thermal. I was watching it on thermal and just boom, disappeared.
Right.
Well, that became my new research area. So that's when I was telling you about my wife and me seeing the car in 2 different places.
Mhm.
And so that happened actually before the expedition.
Oh,
So they're contacting me. I'm in touch with them. They're in touch with me. It's not an everyday thing every week, every month. It's just like when necessary, or if I got a question, or if I'm just thinking, I want to make sure this is real and can you show me? And I'll invariably get a sign of some type. But that orb flying through the bedroom, my wife in there, I mean, that's nothing other than what it is.
Right.
so
So-
Carter, let me ask you a question. Okay, so I'm going now with your book, Baptized by Abduction, right?
Mhm.
How can you be certain it's a Sasquatch and not another being? Because
ET?
could they be presenting themselves to you in a form that you want to see, that you want to interact with, so as not to scare you?
Yeah, that's a good question, but no. I put 2 and 2 together. The rocks, the 5 rocks, the placement. There was nobody there, and then my wife experiences an orb flying through our bedroom, 300 miles away, and approximately the same time they probably put those rocks there because we left at 8:30. She's seeing this orb flying through our bedroom at 8:30, and I guarantee you they probably put those rocks there the second we left.
So
I can't put it together any other way. I mean,
Mhm.
that one thing following the other, following the other. It's not a coincidence. I don't believe in
Right.
coincidence. They were
Right.
making that was a concentrated effort to make contact with me, and I think I've had this message coming to me that because of our respect for the area, that we didn't trash it, we were respectful, we
Right.
didn't leave trash. We took some footprints, but we were hateful, and we weren't hunting, uh, thrill kill hunting, hunting for trophies.
Mhm.
We were respecting the area, not even know, but I would just respect the area anyway. And I think that was the reason they reached out. I can't,
So
I can't quantify it any other way. Now the ETs, when I have been regressed, I've been regressed 8 times
So
now.
8 times now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had another one. It was 7 when I wrote the book, but I
right.
had another one uh, to clear some things up. Uh, they are aware of my Sasquatch research. The
Oh,
aliens are
okay.
aware of what, they've taken me. I don't know how many. I'm just going to pull a number, 50 times at least. How many times as a kid, I have no idea. But they're aware of my work, and I do think there is a connection with
Mhm.
ETs, Sasquatch, orbs.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think there is a connection of sorts.
And that was kind of going to be part of my question to you.
Yeah,
Is
that's where my wheels were turning
right.
to. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I know there are a lot of people who have reported seeing Bigfoot-like creatures on spacecraft after they've been abducted.
Mhm.
When you were abducted, did you see anything similar to that?
No, I didn't. I did see what I was pretty certain was a U.S. military man with
Hmm.
the aliens. One of the times I asked to see all the aliens that have been in contact with me, and I saw a reptilian, I saw the pale whites, I saw the Nordics, um, the grays, the tall grays, and the short grays, the little gray robots. So I saw them, but during the regression, it was mentioned that they are aware of my Sasquatch research.
Hmm.
So I have people that see orbs and UFOs right after a Sasquatch event,
Mhm.
or see a Sasquatch right after a orb or UFO event, mostly on my habituation properties.
Well, what do you think is the connection there?
Well, I believe the Sasquatch use orb form to possibly travel between dimensions. I believe that.
Mhm.
I hear that from so many people, and I think they use orb form. I have a family up in the Pacific Northwest. Uh, the wife was the one who had most of the contact. The mother Sasquatch will come in with 2 of her babies, and each one of them is holding one of the teddy bears they gifted them on this gifting area. They come into the bedroom,
Hmm.
show them the teddy bears. They're playing with them. They're rubbing a twig on Mama's face, just kind of jacking with her a little bit. She's, just doing this, and come on, stop it, kids, that kind of thing. Just a day in the life of a mother and her 2 little brats. But they come in orb form, and they materialize into a Sasquatch. Some half body, some full body, but she's holding the babies, and then the babies are playing with the teddy bears, and then they leave, and they go out and they put the teddy bears back in the bags, but they switch them and put them in the different bags than the ones they were in. The bags are color coordinated with these little collars she puts on the teddy bears, and so she'll go out and then she'll move them back to where she had them, and she goes out the next day and they'll be moved back the way they want. So, see what I'm telling you this, you're going, "God, he's doing gummies again. What's wrong with this guy?"
No, I'm trying to wrap I'm
Yeah.
trying to wrap my head around the idea of just like anything, and in the
Yeah,
paranormal, we know that spirits choose who they're going to communicate with. Just
Yeah.
because
Right.
I see it doesn't mean Ryan's going to see it or Blake's going to see it, or just because Blake hears it doesn't mean that Ryan and I are going to hear it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out if what you're telling me is that they choose who they're going to communicate, or is it just maybe they find someone who's willing to communicate and they go with that, or if they just pick somebody and say, you know what, I'm going to make you a believer. I'm here and I need to speak with you.
Hmm.
Do you think that's the thing that they're going to pick you? Because I know you believe that they chose you to communicate with for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm way past gone. I'm paranormal quantum. You'll never get me off that boat. But here's a good question, and here's a good answer. The lady I was telling you about, Pacific Northwest, she has Sasquatch coming in, orbs flying through the house, all this kind of stuff. They've been there about 7 years. I've been dealing with her and her hubby about 5 years. He is a strict non-believer. In other words, she's seeing these things, she's experiencing these things, and he's going, "You're full of crap. You're nuts. I don't believe there's no way." Well, one night, about 2 years ago, he was sitting in the living room. They live on 5 acres, heavily wooded. And he had knee surgery. He didn't want to take his pain pills because he didn't like the pain pills. So he was watching TV about 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get sleepy and pass out. And he's just watching TV, and all of a sudden he sees a Sasquatch walking across the front yard. The motion lights go on. It's like unmistakable. He goes in and wakes Rebecca up and goes, "Okay, you got your wish. I saw a Sasquatch. Now what?" Okay. Because he was an avowed skeptic. Well, he has since seen one morph from an orb into a Sasquatch in his bedroom. They sleep in separate bedrooms because he snores and he has a CPAP machine. So very often they cannot sleep in the same bed for very long. So he saw one change from an orb into half a body of a Sasquatch. It was floating in his room, showing it to him, and then it went back into an orb out the window. And from an avowed skeptic to like, "You're not going to believe what I just saw." And he tells his wife, "Where you been? I've been telling you about this stuff for like 5 years. What's wrong with you? I've been telling you about that. You're just telling me I'm nuts. I'm full of crap. Now you're a believer. Now you believe me." So he's come full circle. They have an adult son with them, 50 years old. He's on the spectrum. He's lived with them his entire life. He's 50 years old. And so they call the Sasquatch George so that he knows what they're talking about. And if he wants to get in the conversation, he can hop in. But my point is, he was an avowed skeptic living with somebody who was experiencing them in the house, and he's seeing it, but not registering or just saying, "I saw that, but you're playing tricks," or "Somebody's playing tricks." Well, if somebody's playing tricks, who is it? It's not me.
Yeah.
So who can play a trick like that? It's your house. We've got
Right.
guns in every room. If you thought somebody was in the house jacking with you, what would you do? You go grab a gun and start firing up the place. So who's doing this? It's not me. Well, I don't know. I did see one, so
Right.
he got baptized, and this was just in the last year. So he's a believer now. He's a non-skeptic, and she's got this incredible gifting thing going on. It's incredible that she has them making jewelry with vines, and
Oh,
she
wow.
goes and buys these cheap little trinkets
Huh.
like Dollar Tree, and they string beads on vines and make necklaces and gift them to her because she's gifting them stuff. It's like the most incredible thing. And so this is a day in the life. So it's not paranormal, it's not quantum. You just got these, dumb apes making jewelry in the backyard.
Wow.
what do you do with that? I mean,
My mind doesn't know what to do with it right now, right? I mean, my mind doesn't. I mean,
but I mean, this is, and she's showing me this. She's not crazy or nuts. I mean, she thinks she is because
Right.
all this bizarre stuff. She goes, how would we know this was here? We had no idea. We moved into this house and it was vacant for a long time. Now we know why. Because the previous people were probably freaked out because there was activity going on. But so when you hear like what I just told you about me and the orb and my wife and the rocks and the me having an image planted in my head of my Jeep not being where it was, and what I'm just telling you about all that. I mean, where do you draw the line where you go, you know, I'm gonna have to put that in my pipe and smoke it because I'm not sure. Or I mean, I believe Carter, so I
Right.
believe. Or do you have a skeptic gene still floating around in your head? I mean, do you see something like a two-headed ghost or an orb that morphs into a ghostly figure of a woman that goes out through the wall? I mean, when you see, you've probably seen stuff like that. What do you tell yourself when you see that? I'm nuts? Or is this the power of the spirit world?
Mhm.
Typically, at first, it's I'm nuts, and then
And
I'm
it's
a
like,
and then
hang
I'm a
on.
dumbass. Hold on,
Then it's
wait,
how
let
do
me,
yeah.
yeah. Then it's like start debunking, and then we're like, oh,
Right.
okay, maybe that's just something that I've never run into before.
Yeah, but at some point in the business you're in, the field you're in, field I'm in, I have to take a step one way or the other. You know, I'm at the fork in the road,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I can't take that left fork. I got to take the right fork because that's where I'm going
Right.
to get my answers. You know, dumb ape only explains 3 things out of 10,000. They poop, they eat, they reproduce. They're a dumb ape. They're undiscovered North American ape. Okay, whatever.
Right.
Well, how come there's thousands of people reporting the very things I've been talking about?
Mhm.
And are they all nuts? Have I found the 500 to 1,000 crazy people that only see Sasquatch doing bizarre stuff? Am I the only guy? Or is it all the other researchers that are dealing with the same thing? Just like you guys are seeing ghosts and spirits and orbs,
Mhm.
possibly portals. I don't know. You know,
Right.
you're seeing things that you cannot explain, but you're seeing it. You're not nuts, and you know it's real. So you have to go one way or the other. I mean, do you discount it and save face a little bit, or you go, you know, I saw that because that's what I can't, you know, I can't say I got to think about it. It's in your face kind of stuff for me. It's
Right.
either it's either this or that.
Yeah.
You know, I know my witnesses aren't jacking with me. My habituation folks, they're the salt of the earth. I mean, 8 out of 10 of them are devout Christians, a religious family, very deeply grounded in their religion and faith. And so they're just not the type. I know, you know, Joel Osteen, that crooked evangelist, now he's the type. You know, he's making billions of dollars.
Allegedly.
And people go
Allegedly, I'm
hungry.
helping you out here, Carter. Allegedly. Yeah.
You know, and so, but where do you draw the line when you start seeing these things? And it's when you keep seeing them, there's a continuity of the event that tells you this is going on. This is real stuff. I may not be able to explain it, but oh my God, that's really happening because I'm seeing some bizarre stuff here, you know.
Right.
So with the newest book coming out and everything that you're telling us, I mean, does this change your personal classification of what people are experiencing with Sasquatch or Bigfoot? Because you're describing a lot of characteristics and traits that fall into multiple categories between paranormal hauntings, UFOs, aliens, cryptids.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what is your kind of definition that you're more leaning towards for this then?
Well, most people that have never experienced this when they're living on property, or even if they just see them in the woods, they're out in the woods and all of a sudden they see a Sasquatch walk into a tree and disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's happening. So they have to decide. They live with it and see it. They have deduced over, let's say, 5 to 27 years, because that's the length of the people that are living with these beings on their property. They've seen that enough to know that that's real. That is freaking weird, but I
It
can't
happens
explain
too
it. But
many
that just
times,
happened.
right?
Mhm.
That just happened. I'm not nuts. If my wife tells me she just saw a Sasquatch, uh, pull an apple off the tree and disappear into a gelatinous form like a predator and walk off. I've got a family in my book they were working at home and they took a break, went out on the deck, and he and the wife both saw a gelatinous predator type being walking through the backyard. Both of them saw it. Of course, they didn't have their phones. They were taking a break from work, so they left their phones in the house, go out and take a
Of
smoke.
course.
And they see this broad daylight. And he's got government clearance. He did. He had if he admits to that kind of stuff, he better have it together, because he had government clearance. They don't want some nut going there. Well, I just saw a Sasquatch disappear, walk through my bedroom closet and walked out, and I saw it walking in the front yard. I walked through my closet and out in the front yard. We don't want you working for the government. You seeing that kind of stuff. So, but people are making a conscious decision to believe it or reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And 90% of the habituation people I'm dealing with, they're accepting it because they've seen it enough. Other family members, friends that come over to have a cookout. What the heck did I just see? They've seen UFOs that are 100, 200 feet long fly over their property slow so they get a nice long look at it. Orbs that they're the size, it looked like the sun was in their front yard. It was so bright and brilliant. Just stuff like that. So what do you do? I mean, you guys see orbs. What do you think of? I mean, those are spirits, right? Energy.
I am. Listen, I am not the
Depends.
orb. I am not the orb guy.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about orbs.
Well,
I'll
I'm just-
disappoint you every time.
Brian, Shelley, when orbs pop up?
Well,
What are-
orbs, they're energy. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're
Now,
energy that can transform
Right.
into other things. But maybe that's all the strength that they might have, is to give you just this
But
small
that's a
glimpse
heck
of
of a
them.
deal.
but
Yeah.
then again, too, we have seen orbs caught on camera that are luminous and that have flown through locations. So maybe, like you were
With
talking about, Carter,
directionality, yeah.
with directionality, maybe it's a mode of transportation for something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Mhm.
Because if there's portals involved, if the Sasquatch, now a couple of people I know, they're in the book. One guy had 6 hours of missing time with the Sasquatch.
Mhm.
Another, this is a good one. I had 2 scientists and 2 assistant scientists, all 4 women, come to a paranormal conference I was doing down in, was it Clinton, Missouri? Straight south. They all saw a Sasquatch. They were coming back from St. Louis, driving back to Oklahoma, because that's where they're from. They drove through Missouri. And they stopped at this paranormal conference I was at to discuss, because they saw there was a Sasquatch person there. They wanted to talk about what they saw. 4 women, 2 scientists, 2 assistants. They saw a Sasquatch running along the highway. They were driving west toward Oklahoma through from St. Louis through Missouri and on. Anyway, they saw the Sasquatch running on the other side of the road. They were heading west. It was running the same direction, but it was in the eastbound side. It was running against traffic, and it was running again on the side of the road. It was just running. But they didn't know what it was at first. They saw this giant, tall something running, and it suddenly veered crossed the highway and got on their side of the highway, but on the other side, on the shoulder, and was running along the highway. Well, they slowed down. It slowed down, and they saw a Sasquatch. It was running. It was not, it did not look at them. It was running like it had something to do. It was running straight, like it had somewhere to go, somewhere to be. And they pulled up next to it and they were looking at it. And these four women, two scientists. You imagine a scientist who believes in nothing,
Yeah.
seeing a Sasquatch running along the road,
And willing to admit it.
Yeah. And they came to me
Exactly.
to see if I could explain it. I said, well, because it would not look at you, it would not look either way. It may have been coming to or running from a portal. It may have just landed on the earth. It may have just landed where it was.
Right.
It came out of a portal or is running toward a portal. So it could
Yeah,
get
it had
back
to catch
where-
that paranormal subway to take it to
catch
its
the
next
bus back to
location.
where it
Yeah.
was going.
Yeah.
So, but it was running alongside the car. It was 10 feet from them. And here's the deal. They had 2.5 hours of missing time. They pulled over. One woman fainted. One of the assistants in the backseat fainted. The lady who was driving, she was one of the scientists. She was the one who did all the talking. They pulled over. It's about 11 o'clock to talk about it. We go, oh my God, what just happened? They wake up 2 o'clock in the morning. 3 of them wake up. The lady who fainted, is she still out? And they wake her up, but they could not explain, and I couldn't explain the missing time. The guy up in New England area, he had 6 hours of missing time. Have I told that story? Oh, we're almost done. I'm sorry.
That's
But
okay.
he had 6 hours of missing time.
I really didn't know that missing time was associated with cryptids.
Mhm. Yeah.
I really,
Yeah.
I don't. So,
Isn't that crazy?
so Carter, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you a real quick story that something had happened to Ryan and I. We were driving to
Mhm.
the West Virginia State Pen. We're going through the mountains, and I'm driving, and it's dusk, had just gotten dark, and I literally see something run from a sheer face. They're like where I'm driving. This is drop off. We're in the
Yeah.
mountains.
Mhm.
Something run and go straight into the cliffside. Nothing but rock there. I'm driving on a mountain road. There
Yeah.
is nothing here to go into, and this side
Mhm.
is rock. And I slam on my brakes because that's how solid it was. However, it wasn't solid enough for me to actually tell what it was. It did have like this kind of fluidity to it. And I hit my brakes and Ryan was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." And it went straight into the side of the rock face and was gone. Now, when you mentioned that some of them have taken on a gelatinous form, that's interesting because that's kind of this looked like a dark gelatinous form, but it moved so fast.
Mhm.
Now, because I'm a ghost hunter, I immediately thought spirit. But now you're making me think that it might have been something different. Right? Is
Yeah.
that kind of how you recall it? Am I missing or leaving anything out?
No, I mean that's pretty much how it was. It was just like whatever it was big and black and ran across the road like straight into that side of the mountain.
And was gone, gone
Yeah, gone.
into a
And
sheer rock face.
there was nowhere for it to go other than into the mountain.
It could demolecularize. I'll say that until I can't
You
say
did
it.
so good.
Yeah. And just change form and disappear into a tree or a rock or a cliff. You hear that often, and people just discount it. Well, it had to run behind a tree or something. I didn't see that. I saw something else. You're always going to not believe what you're told because, my famous, you're from the day you come out of the birth canal till you're 18 to 22, you're told how the world is. You're told
That's
what to
right.
believe, what not, and what's real and what's not. You have no choice. Schools, science, government, everybody and their mother tells you how the world is. No UFOs, no ghosts, no Sasquatch, none of this crap. Well, you see it, then all of a sudden, okay, now what? I did see it, so it does exist. So and that's what's happening now with the UAPs. They cannot lie to us anymore. The government knows all about all of this. And until they monetize it, politicize it, radicalize it, politicize it, do whatever they got to do, weaponize it, they're not going to tell us anything. They got every nickel and dime they could out of the UFO thing, technology and weaponry. So now they'll admit, well, yeah, they kind of exist. We lied for about 100 years. They do exist. It's going to be the same for Sasquatch. I think it's far worse reckoning of finding out what they are or what they are not. Why wouldn't they not? If it's just a dumb ape, why'd you just admit, yeah, there's a dumb ape running around the woods in North America?
That's a very good point.
Why would you just not admit that? That's a stupidly easy thing. Well, that's people are seeing gorillas in the Pacific Northwest, so it's quite possible they're up there. We haven't seen them, but enough stories are coming out there. There's probably something to it. Just throw us the bone, anything, but they won't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
You send DNA off to colleges and science, it comes back as deer, dog, or contaminated, or the sample disappears. We lost it. We don't know what happened.
Or there's inconclusive. They say it's inconclusive. It's definitely, animal, but we can't tell exactly what.
They will not very often say inconclusive. They'll just come flat out and tell you, nah, it's not an ape. It's a deer. It's been contaminated. We don't know who it is. It's a tuft of hair from a raccoon or a deer's butt or something. They'll come up with some kind of baloney,
So, I mean, do you think they won't admit it because it's so paradigm shattering, or do you think they won't admit it because they have some sort of vested interest in it?
Yes, all of that. They don't want to. Religion will be affected.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
right.
And you would have to rewrite.
Evolution will be affected.
Yeah, they would have to figure out a way around to answer all these questions about.
Mommy and Daddy told you bedtime stories, and they'll be affected because.
That's just a touch on what, right? Like, I mean, that's the biggest reason about one of the biggest reasons about the UFOs and all that stuff, aliens, cryptids, all this stuff, because we're made in God's image. That's what we've been told since we were a kid. Well, if all this comes out and all of a sudden, then what are aliens? What are cryptids? What is Bigfoot? What is this? You're going to have a mass hysteria moment that's going to just cause panic.
That's exactly what they tell everybody. That's why they tell you like they're doing you a favor. The world's religions will collapse if we talk about they are not the Nephilim, and they are not, from Adam and Eve. They've been here for 250,000 years. They were brought here. They were the crossbred with the Anunnaki and the Sumerians. You go into all of that, it gets really hairy. No pun intended, but it's a bizarre road we travel when we discuss all that.
Yeah.
So it's but that's why I've been baptized. I've seen things, and a lot of people say, well, your book sales are kind of slow, so now suddenly you've been abducted by aliens, so sell some more books that way. So, well, no. I sat on this forever because I didn't want to affect anything, and I finally just had to get it out because, the screen memories that we are given by the aliens, all that stuff locked in my head. All the secrets of what happened to me are in my head, and I can't get to it unless I get regressed because they put the screen memories. A lot of the screen memories the ETs put in my heads, they're fading, they're failing. I'm starting to remember stuff, and that makes them nervous. Because they don't like that. They don't want me talking about certain things. And so they've told me in my regressions that we're not going to admit or inform you of the things until the time is right. Because you're a public person and you will tell the world. And we don't want that right now.
Well,
pretty much what they're doing.
I find that interesting because does that not put a target on your back? Does that not scare you that they're going to come because you're doing something that they don't like? They're going to come for you at some point?
Could be. I've had men in black come to one of my town hall meetings I had in Independence about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, tell that story, please.
We have time. It's after 9.
Well,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
you, yes, we do.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, there's 2 Men in Black stories. My partner, we're no longer partners for some reason. His wife made him get out of the Bigfoot business. Anyway, we did a town hall, which is where you get witnesses to come together and people come to hear their stories and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like what they did on Finding Bigfoot, the TV show, but just a boiled down version. So a couple of my witnesses came up and said, "Hey, there's a couple of weird guys looking for you." If I didn't know any better, they're like men in black, but they're wearing like tennis outfits, like checkered shorts and white shirts, or like polo shirts, and sunglasses on, and they're just kind of mysterious, but they're asking like, "Where are you? We need to talk to him. We just want to warn him that the Sasquatch are dangerous. You don't want to mess with them. You want to stay away from them." But they never found me. Fast forward to about 3 weeks after that show, they come and knock on my partner at the time, his door, because he lived in Independence. And these were 2 men in black in suits wanting to warn him to be careful around Sasquatch because you'll get hurt. And it was just like the weirdest, but it was like sunglasses. It was just like Men in Black, Tommy Lee Jones, and the whole Will Smith, the whole thing. He said, "Hey, my phone's ringing. I got to go in the kitchen and get it. I'll be right back." Left the door open, went to the kitchen, came back. They were gone. No sign of them, nothing. Looking up and down the street, nothing there, no cars. Gone. You hear that a lot.
Holy crap.
And they were going to tell him what they told him. I said, "We just want to warn you that Sasquatch are really dangerous. We tried to find your partner. We couldn't find him at your little presentation y'all did. But anyway, we just thought we'd tell you that, just be careful. You don't know, you don't want anything to happen to you." That was it.
Oh, that's not even a veiled threat.
It's
That's
not
a
really
threat.
veiled. It's like,
It's not a veiled threat. It's a threat.
That's a mafia threat. Hey, we'd hate for something to happen to you. Just be careful.
Yeah,
around
them
here."
Sasquatch are dangerous. We'd
Don't
hate for
open
anything
that
to happen
Christmas
to you.
present.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird event. Now, Terry and Dina, the witnesses from south of here, they become real good friends, and they told me, I said, they were just weird, but they were dressed odd. They came off like Men in Black, but they had on the weirdest clothing. They were
Clothing that
so
didn't
out
really
of
match.
place, and you hear that a lot about
Yeah.
ETs. They come and they try to look like a human. They try to meld into the human form. And there's something, they're very pale. They talk weird. They look the same. They look like they're almost identical twins, but they're not. And there's just something weird about them because they're trying to permeate our existence by looking like us. Their interpretation is completely different than the real thing,
Yeah.
I mean, look at this face. How can you fake that?
Oh my gosh, Carter, you're hilarious.
I know. But I'm being funny, but this is the kind of weird, bizarre, paranormal, quantum stuff that continually happens. I'm always getting shoulder taps. There's always something going on, which tells me I'm on the right track and I am seeing and I am experiencing the things I'm seeing and experiencing, as much as it's hard to swallow at times. But, when I watched one vanish, a Sasquatch vanish in a flash of light when it realized I was there and it came around the corner. I was watching it through thermal. Nobody else saw it. I was the only one there with thermal. And it vanished. And that told me right then and there's something more to this. And I haven't looked back since. And I'm getting all these stories and all these tales. I've got a guy in Canada. Oh my God, the stuff that's going on. They're coming through the walls and zapping him. They're putting him, they killed him. They knocked him on the floor. They brought him back out of it. And he was back to normal. It was just all kinds of bizarre stuff. I mean, I've got the
Sasquatch assassin after him.
There was a whole reason why they were doing that to him, is that they were assigned to him and this female Sasquatch. Her name was Elysia, and his name was Zap because he zapped him a lot.
I was gonna say the aptly named Zap.
Yeah, you're dead. But they were assigned to him and his father, who passed away before all this could happen, come to fruition, to explain to them the way of the Sasquatch and the way of the world and the way to look at the world, way to be kind, do not hunt recreationally, be kind to your fellow man, don't trash, don't be a litter bug, and just be nice to everybody. Don't be racial and don't be hateful toward others with different bents and desires and whatever. And that's their whole message. And so that they were assigned to him, and they had a timeline, and they had to knock him out to get him to quit freaking out, because he was freaking out with what they were doing.
I would have been too.
Yeah, well, you probably would. I probably would.
I would have definitely.
Yeah. But this is all going on with people who experience them on a daily, weekly, yearly basis, and people who don't. When someone's driving down the street and they see one go across the road and it goes into a tree and disappears, flash a light and it's gone. Are you drinking? Are you smoking pot? You doing gummies? If you are, share, please. I mean, what do you say when a rational human being who has nothing to gain? And by the way, all my people, they get nothing from me but a free book. They don't get their names in print. Their locations are falsified. Their names are falsified. It doesn't matter who they are or where they live. It's what is happening. They don't want anything. They don't want hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in my books. They don't want anything. They want to tell their story without anybody laughing at them. That's the whole reason I got all this data, because people are finding someone they can talk to. There's others of us, of course, but they find someone you can talk to and you won't get laughed at. And that's why I'm getting all this data, because I'm a safe place. And it'd be the same for you guys if you suddenly came upon something that was like a gold mine of paranormal activity. I don't know what that would be in your world, but something that is so incredible, like the Warrens, you're going to be known for it forever. Ed and Lorraine Warren. I mean, there's something going on in your world, and it's going on in mine. I've just been privy to mine, and I'm sharing it with everybody that can wants a bite of the apple, and if you don't, you don't. So, but in your world's the same. You're doing things that other people aren't doing, and you're seeing them, and you may or may not be able to explain them in a way that they're going to understand or believe it, because if their mind's made up, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a ghost. I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen a Sasquatch. I've been in these woods 30 years. If there was a Sasquatch here, I would have seen it. I hadn't seen it, so they don't exist. Period. End of conversation. And that's how it goes with the skeptic until I get the phone call. Can we talk? Because suddenly they saw one, and they cannot deny any longer. And it's just a slow baptism, because the government is in our way.
Yeah.
The government, only the government. Science is in our way too, because guess who gets their grants? Where do they get their grants? The government. You say a word, checks start coming. The checks are done. We're not sending any more grants. You say nothing until we say so. You say anything we want you to say. You don't say anything we don't want you to say about Sasquatch or other things, UAPs, UFOs, whatever you call them. But now the UFOs exist. Now the UAPs, they call them UAPs now. Let's clean it up a little bit. Okay, well, you've been lying to us. So suddenly, oh yeah, well, the Tic Tacs kind of blew it. So yeah, we've been seeing it. Well, okay. So what's it going to take for a Sasquatch? A body? Well, you've got bodies. The timber and lumber companies, they shoot them when they are stopping the tree crews from chopping down the trees when they get up so far into the hinterlands in Canada that you're getting into some badass territory there. They'll kill humans. They'll come after you. So they shoot them and kill them. They send guys and horsemen with rifles, and they go out and eliminate them until they quit bothering them so they can cut down the timber. If you don't think that's true, well, you're mistaken. It happens. So they know.
Mm-hmm.
We are kept in the dark because it's such a big thing for whatever reason. It'll ruin the traffic at the national parks. It'll ruin the traffic at, in the woods and everything.
I'd go to a national park if I knew I was going to see Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'd pay double.
I would too.
Hell yeah.
I'm
What does
here
it
for
cost?
that.
$16 a person? I'll pay you $50 if I can be guaranteed.
Guaranteed to see me a Sasquatch? I'm with you,
Yeah.
Carter Buschardt. I am
Huh?
with you.
Yeah, I mean, you ride shotgun, baby. I'll bring you with me. That's kind of how the whole thing works. That's how the whole, cutting everybody up works.
Absolutely.
It don't exist until we say it does, and we ain't gonna say it.
Say, Carter, I think you'd like my keychain. The government covered it up.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
So yeah,
I like it.
I'm with you.
So, hey, Carter, why don't you tell them where they can get your books and when your new book will be available for purchase?
Okay. All my books, I'm self-published, so I have my books printed. I publish all thing. I do all my stuff with the library. I'm copyrighted and everything's protected. So you buy them straight through me. You can go to email me at sqexplorer@gmail.com. That's the best way. I autograph all the books. If you buy, more than one, I'll give you a break on the price. I'm just trying to spread the word. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to spread the word that this stuff, no matter what you hear, is going on in the US of A, and you just aren't ever going to hear about it from the people that it's happening to because they don't want to be embarrassed or shot at. And the government's not going to. So I put it in my books. These people are living and breathing this stuff, and that's why their identities. So sqexplorer@gmail.com. And you send money through PayPal or Venmo, and you get the books.
And they can pre-order the new book because it should be ready to ship by November 26th? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they're saying it's going to ship on the 26th. They ship FedEx, so I should get it pretty quick.
Okay, so if you want to,
been on time. If you want to, I don't have the book in my hand. I feel better. But those who have bought books from me before, now this is a compilation book. In other words, the 4 Sasquatch books I've written before, I've taken the best stuff out of it, non-paranormal, non-quantum, a couple of good examples, and the rest of it is strictly paranormal, quantum, bizarre stuff.
Gotcha.
If you can't handle it, don't buy the books. And
Okay.
those of you who do have the books, you probably got bits and pieces of the new book in all 4 that you have, but I have a lot of new data in there, new information, updates from old information. So there is some new stuff in there. But they're good books. They're well written. They look good. I mean, they're good books, and there's no.
And they're on good quality paper. The pictures are great in them. And you know what? I'm going to get Ryan for Christmas, don't you? I got to get me to sqexplorer@gmail.com. You'll be hearing from me, Carter.
Yes, you will. You'll be hearing from me too. But that's where you get the books. And like I say, there's no fiction in any of my books. They're all real people telling real stories. None of it's made up. I don't make any of it up. And a lot of the dumb ape people will just be rolling over in their graves when they see the book. Oh, that's a bunch of crap. That stuff don't happen. Well, it does. And there's a lot of converts in this books. All my books, they have converts, people that they're dumb apers, and all of a sudden they're not. Because they see something they cannot deny.
So I think everybody ought to go and pick up a copy of this. Get the new one. Buy all of them. Get Baptized by Abduction. Get gosh, I just lost it of an enigma. Why did it go out of my head?
Well, because you're getting old.
Yeah, probably, but you're not supposed to put that up.
I'm admitting it. I'm getting old.
It's evidence of an enigma, 1 through 4. You just have to give me a second. Rude. Now I'm never going to call you
Carter,
back.
you're gonna get tracked down via your email. She's gonna show up at your house now.
Better believe it. That's
I
what he's.
hope so.
That's what he's.
Knife
No,
in her
shut up,
teeth.
Carter.
I'll have to send my wife up to Nebraska to visit relatives.
Oh God. Well, and with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know before Carter and I get into trouble?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we've got a few announcements. It's a little bit shorter, but if you want to support the show directly, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/AVP podcast. For just $5 a month, you'll unlock over 450 Patreon exclusive videos, including the pre and post broadcast, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast. So you get an additional hour with us each week. Don't know if that's good or bad, but you do. Your support from this goes directly back to the show and towards the adventures we bring you week after week. And if you're not sure about joining Patreon, try it risk-free with our 7-day free trial. Make sure to stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and many more by searching Everything Vaguely Paranormal, looking for the green sound wave. And remember, you can catch us live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. We do have an update about our last convention that we were going to make an appearance at for this season. That would have been the one that would have taken place on November 22nd at the KMFA Austin Studios in Austin, Texas. That has unfortunately been postponed. That is out of our control. So unfortunately, we are waiting for a date for confirmation for 2026. But as of now, it has been postponed. So if you've bought tickets, we're going to come out and support. Please get in touch with them, Strange and Extraordinary Fest, and see about either moving your ticket or however they're going to handle it. So make sure you subscribe to our event by page to be notified when public investigation tickets go on sale. And to make it all easier, we've added all these links to our link tree, which will be on the Everything Vaguely Paranormal Facebook and X profiles Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as well as in our show notes for you audio listeners. And we are grateful for your continued support. If you have a favorite episode, one of the easiest things you can do to help out the show is share it with your friends and leave us a review. And if you have a story, comment, or question, or you'd like to be a guest on the show or have us as guest on your show, email us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Give us that thumbs up because we all like Carter Buschardt. So we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on Everything Very
One
Normal.
question.
Suddenly I'm having a stroke. I apologize. Yes.
One question: was Blake an auctioneer in a previous life?
No,
Yes.
I've just done that.
Even happened.
No, I've just done that sign off 211 times.
Oh
So
my God, you're that's good, man. You didn't trip over nothing.
And I trip over the easy ones. So we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight on Everything Vaguely Paranormal. Special thank you to our wonderful guest, Mr. Carter Buschardt. Thank you for being here. Go get his books at sqexplorer@gmail.com. For me, I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Ryan Roberts and Mr. Blake Smith. Thank you for being here. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
bye, y'all.